Today we're going to be doing something very, very special. So, today we're going to be doing What If Deku Was the Only Male with a Quirk remake. So, as you guys know, this is the first video that ever got over 100 views. And this was my favorite series and my just favorite concept that I've ever done, but I never really finished it because the views were getting low and also my channel wasn't doing that good. But now, since I have more subscribers and I got better at storytelling, I thought that I should redo it. So let's get straight into this video. Izuku Midoriya, born a male. Worst thing to be born as, because if you already know, in this AU, males are nothing worse than dirt. Only females have quirks, and only females can be heroes, and most of the females on Earth are dominant, or there are more dominant females than males, so males are about like, let's say, 40% males, the rest women, so that's not really a lot, but still enough to try and, procreate with each other, but because of those factors, males were treated less than dirt, and that can go for Izuku. Ever since at birth, he was abandoned by his mother, not Inko Midoriya. He's going to be his adoptive mother. As Inko Midoriya was walking down the street in the rain, and then as she heard a baby crying, and then as she looked towards to see where the sound came from, and she headed into the alleyway, and she saw Izuku with brown hair and bright green eyes. Since, unfortunately, Hazashi died before they could have a kid together, she thought that she might raise Izuku as her own. And she doesn't care about Izuku being a male. She doesn't really care. She's just happy that God blessed her with a baby. So, ever since then, Inko has been raising Izuku the best way she could. But, fortunately, Izuku didn't get the best treatment at school or on the streets. He would always get beaten by random females, heroes, kids his age, you name it. He's gotten beaten by them. And males aren't any good either. See, in this world, males don't stick together. They just try to survive any way they can. I mean, stealing from each other, stealing from women, doing anything they possibly can to survive. But, of course, that stealing from women part doesn't go great for them. So, Izuku's life is just bad. So, one day, as Inko and Izuku went camping, Izuku accidentally walked off. Kind of walked off from Inko, and he was scared in the forest. And as he ended up in a cave. I'm scared. Mommy, I'm scared. Where am I? Who's there? As a menacing voice can be heard throughout the cave. As Izuku was about to pee his pants, but as the voice said, "No need to be afraid. I mean you no harm." Who are you? Come find out. And then as Izuku suddenly got calm and started to think reasonably about this, and as Izuku said, "No." And then as the voice was confused and said, "You dare defy me?" "Yes, you're a strange voice in a dark cave in the middle of the forest. Would you go to the voice that says come here?" "Now that you say it, no, but I'm sorry, I have to decline." "Okay then. Would you rather stay in here or go out there when it's dark with all the monsters?" And then, as some bushes were ruffled, a bunch of bushes were just ruffled, and then, as Izuku said, "On second thought, maybe I'll go towards the voice. It's a lose-lose situation anyway." as Izuku walked towards the voice, and then as he saw a sword in the scabbard, or in a stone, he saw a sword in the stone, in a stone. I mean, and then as Izuku said, "What? What are you?" "My name is Incurcio." So let me explain Incurcio's powers. Basically, Incurcio is going to be like the Red Dragon Emperor from High School DxD, or Izuku and Incurcio will have that type of relationship. See, after Tatsumi died, Akame picked up the Incurcio and decided to put it on inside of a stone. And Incurcio has been inactive ever since because the armor was destroyed. So the armor needed time to repair itself. But while it was repairing itself, it began to evolve. Incurcio began to evolve into something stronger, better, faster, stuff like that. So now Incurcio is able to do a lot of new things. He has two forms. The first form is the regular form that Tatsumi used. The second form is the golden form, or the super Incurcio, or whatever you want to call it, or whatever they call it in the manga. And for Izuku's stats, speed, strength, durability, and he also can regenerate. And for his weapons, he can summon the Incursio's hidden pole arm, the spear. He can summon the spear, and he can also use the sword while he has the Incurcio armor on. Tatsumi wasn't able to do that for Incurcio, but Izuku will be able to do that. Summon the sword while Incurcio's on. Izuku prefers the sword, but he does use the spear too. And also the spear, I decided I didn't really like the spear design, so I'm gonna change it into Kratos' Draupnir spear. Yeah, Izuku's gonna have Kratos' Draupnir spear. But yeah, I'm gonna change it like that. Yeah, change it like that. So, as Izuku touched the sword, and then as the sword disappeared. What happened? I have decided to choose you as my wielder. What, what does that mean? That means you have powers. Powers beyond your wildest imaginations. Powers that can help you become stronger, faster, better than anyone else in this whole entire world. So, do you accept me as your wielder or as your weapon for now until eternity? Yes, I do. And will you accept me to be your wielder, the future #1 hero of the world? I like that attitude, kid. What's your name? Izuku. Izuku Midoriya. So, let's do a little time skip. Izuku was about 8, so let's do a time skip to when he's about 15 years old. Over this time, Izuku has been training with Incurcio and the spear, and how to sustain the armor for long periods of time, and also the invisibility for long periods of time. So, and also he was working on durability, how to fight in the armor, how to swim in the armor, just basically trying to use the armor as most effectively as he possibly can. So, for the swordsmanship, he was trained by Incurcio because Incurcio learned from Tatsumi and Akame. Because Incurcio was able to... So, in the show Akame got killed, Incurcio was a living thing. The danger beast still inside the sword was still alive. So I'm going to be using that as Incurcio learned from Tatsumi and Akame by watching them fight. So yeah, he learned swordsmanship and how to wield a spear from Incurcio. And also, Izuku can use his invisibility form for about 2 minutes. Or he can sustain being invisible for 2 minutes. And for the armor is basically indestructible. Or it is indestructible. Nothing can break it. And I would say he's about on Tatsumi's level when he... so I'd say he's about on Tatsumi's level. Let's see. Oh, and also he can only sustain the golden form for about, uh, let's say about 50 seconds. Let's not make him too overpowered. But oh, and I also forgot, in the golden form, Izuku can fly. I forgot about that. That was in the show. Yeah, it was in the show. And Inko does know about Incursio, but Izuku didn't tell her Incursio was a living, breathing thing. He just said that he manifested his quirk. Incursio is Izuku's mentor, and more ways than one is um, taught him how to fight, how to stay cool under pressure, and it's just basically his counselor. Yeah, basically like Izuku's counselor. So this is where the anime begins. As Izuku's walking into the UA entrance exam, and then as he's walking through the gates, and then as Katsumi stopped him. Ha! What are you doing here, you male? What are you doing here? I told you, if I see you here, I'm going to kill you. Simple as that. Now, die! As Bakugo was gonna throw an explosion at Izuku, but Izuku disappeared, thanks to Incursio. So, basically, Izuku can use Incursio, oh, Izuku can summon Incursio, and also he can use Incursio's invisibility form. But without the armor, he can only use it for about a good 20 seconds. If he pushes it, or if he holds off the invisibility, he can go for about 30 seconds. But that's it. So yeah, as he just disappeared. And as Katsumi was shocked, to say the least. She was just dumbstruck, but she just decided to ignore it as a bad dream or something like that. She didn't know how to explain it, so she just walked off with her mouth wide open. And as Izuku around the corner, smirking to himself, and as he said, "This this year is definitely going to be interesting." And as they did the written proportion of the exam, Izuku was in the top 50. Izuku was in the top 50 or 20 or whatever. Your headcanon, don't really care about the written portion, but let's just say Izuku scored the top 20. Let's just say that. So, as Izuku just sat down and waited for everybody else, he. Oh, and also, Incursio suggested to Izuku not to stand out too much because Incursio knows that people will go looking for him. Either that be rogue heroes, villains, will try to exploit him or capture him to experiment on him and stuff like that. So Incursio advised Izuku not to go all out, but hold back. So that's what Izuku's gonna do. He's only gonna use the Incursio blade. That's all he's gonna use. Not the armor or anything like that. Just the blade. And also I forgot to mention, he's pretty strong, like about like 5% one for all. Speed, strength, durability without the armor, 5% one for all. Like 5% one for all for Cowling when he first started to use it. Yeah. Izuku is strong enough to defeat the Deku from Stain versus Deku in the original canon. He's able to. That's his stats, basically. Strong, fast, and agility and durability is just like 5% Deku from the anime. Let's continue. So, as Izuku said, sure. It'll be more fun if I just hold back anyway. So, as Izuku just waited for President Mike to get over with the explanations on what the exam is, or explanation on what the exam is, bad grammar, as Ida stood up and began to blabber on until she pointed towards Izuku and said, "You, what are you doing here? Males can't participate in the entrance exams. They have no quirk. They're useless. They're supposed to be in the waiting hall, waiting for their mistresses. What are you doing in here?" "Well, for your information, I am participating, and I do have a quirk." "What? You must be lying." Yeah, that's all this is. A joke. A sick joke. Where's your mistress? She shouldn't be playing these kinds of jokes. This is supposed to be a serious exam. Shut up. Then Izuku summoned in Cursio and pointed it towards Ida. Does it look like I'm joking with you now? A boy summoning a sword out of thin air. Does that seem like a joke to you? I suggest you sit down and shut up. President Mike was just about to get done and I want to start smashing stuff. Now, be a good doll and shut up. Suzuka just sat down and as everybody was shocked and started whispering about Izuku. And then as Izuku started to smile and said, like I said, this is going to be one interesting year. As we time skip to when they eventually do get outside of on the training grounds, or in the arenas or whatever you want to call them. They eventually get down there and Izuku, before President Mike can even say one, Izuku summoned in Cursio and slashed open the doors. And then as he started to demolish the robots, and as everybody was saying, that's cheating, he can't do that. And then as President Mike said, go, 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 what are you doing? Heroes can't wait for a countdown, follow his lead and go. As the rest tried to follow in and tried to get up there with Izuku, but they really couldn't. And then as Izuku said, 198 points should be enough, right? Yeah, that should be enough. Then Izuku unsummoned in Cursio and just sat on a building, waiting for the entrance exam to be over. Now we go to the observation room. Nezu. Who's that? It's a male. What? What is a male doing here? Shouldn't he be waiting outside for his mistress? Endeavor said. No, it seems that he has 196 points? What? Everybody said in surprise. How could a male have 196 points? Not possible. And he also has 50 hero points too. What is this? Who is this? As Nezu pulled up Izuku. Full name, Izuku Midoriya, age 15. Quirk, simple word, in Cursio. Doesn't give any description, just says in Cursio. Is that his sword? And then as President Mike said, is that his sword? What do you mean, President Mike? Well, him and a girl got into an altercation and he summoned a sword. Is the sword's name in Cursio? Huh, maybe. Let's see how this plays out. And then as Nezu pushed the big one. And then as the 0-pointer came out and immediately started to malfunction and shoot missiles. Yeah, it has missiles. If UA is able to create fake explosions and fake paper mache bombs, they are able to create duds of missiles or blank missiles, blanks, whatever you want to call them. And then Izuku said, well, that's a big one. But seeing as it's 0 point, help! Please help me! My leg, it's stuck! And Izuku looked at the person to see a girl. And then as he looked towards Ida, who just ran past Izuku and said, run away, get out of here. You useless male, get out of here. I'll show you useless. 'Cause now she's pissed me off. Izuku, are you sure you want to use it? Yes. Then as Izuku summoned in Cursio and stabs it to the ground, and then as he yelled to the top of his lungs, in Cursio! And then, as in Cursio, just basically just summoned out of the sword. If you watch the anime, you know what I mean. And then as in Cursio started to bond with Izuku. And then as Izuku transformed into Incursio. And then as Izuku started to move his arms and crack his neck and said, It's been a while since I used him, or this. Feels good. Indeed it does, Izuku. Now, finish this! Right! Then as Izuku started to scream on the top of his lungs, and then as he jumped up into the air and summoned his spear, and then as he screamed out, "Spear thrust!" And then as he went straight down into the Zero Pointer's head, and then as everything went quiet for a second, and then as you can hear a big explosion, and as Izuku, with the spear in his hand, covered in oil, and then as oil and metal bits started to rain down from the air, and then as Izuku swiped off the oil off his spear, and then as Aizawa said, the first male hero. Now we do a little time skip. Izuku waiting patiently for his letter of acceptance, because Izuku knows that they're not going to pass up on an opportunity to have the first male hero in UA High. So, as he eventually got the UA form, filled it out, or Izuku's mother filled it out, and then as he didn't really fill in the hero costume design because he already has a hero costume, so didn't really fill it out. And then we wait another week or so, and yeah, as Izuku was walking into the UA High gates, and then as he said, "This is the first step of me becoming a hero." As Izuku walked in, looking for UA until he actually found it, or eventually found it, and then as he said, "Wow, this is a big door. Wonder if there are any giants in here like the Zero Pointer." Then as he walked in to see the room in absolute chaos, and then as everybody fell silent and looked at Izuku, and as they started to whisper about him, and then he rolled his eyes and just sat down, and as he waited, Aizawa wasn't really in the classroom. Aizawa wasn't in the classroom. So as he waited till Aizawa eventually came into the classroom, and then as Aizawa just waited until everybody eventually noticed him, and then as Aizawa said, "It took you 5 minutes to shut up. Not acceptable." Then as he put the UA uniform out of his sleeping bag and said, "Put these on. Go outside. We will be doing a quirk apprehension test." And then, as a girl with brown hair said, "What about orientation?" And then as Aizawa said, "There's no need for silly things like that. This is Class 1A. We're supposed to be the best hero class in UA High. And also, my class, my rules. Now, get to moving." And then as Izuku and the rest of the class, when I got up and started to walk away. And then as Aizawa said, you stay here and change. We don't have a male changing room, so you're just gonna have to change in here. Fine, whatever. Then as Izuku waited for them to leave, and he made sure they left, and as he started to take off his clothes. This is nerve-wracking, right, in Curcio? And I seen Curcio was sitting on somebody's desk, or laying on somebody's desk. "Yeah, it sure is, partner. Are you sure you're ready for this?" "I was born ready." This shirt is too tight. I may have to ask for another one. But for now, then Izuku just ripped off the shirt and walked out. I'll have to go shirtless for now. And then as Izuku snapped his fingers, and then as Curcio flew into his hands, and then as he said, "You ready, partner?" Like you said before, Izuku, I was born ready. Then as he walked out to the training ground, then as Aizawa said, "You're late. You're late, male." Yeah, I know. My shirt didn't fit. So I had to ask Nezu for one, and he didn't have an extra size. So I have to do this shirtless, which is super embarrassing. So please don't stare. Then as he looked towards class 1A, and then as they looked away, "Can we just start this, please, Sensei?" Yeah, sure, kid. Now, first person in the entrance exam, step forward." And then as Katsumi was about to step forward, and then as Aizawa said, "Not you, him." Huh? How could a quirkless male like him get first? I'm stronger than him. No, no, Katsumi, you're not. Now step aside. Then as Izuku walked in front and said, "What am I supposed to do?" Then as Aizawa threw a ball at Izuku and said, "Throw this ball." Oh, and by the way, how far did you throw this last time in your last physical exam? About, let's see, about 27, 28 meters. Throw this, throw this ball, but this time with your quirk. Nah, I'm gonna hold back. I don't really like to use my quirk unless I really need it. Like as you saw with the 0-pointer, or in the ethics exam. Yes, I knew you guys were watching, but now, time for me to throw this ball. And then, as Izuku started to flex his forearm, and then as his veins started to appear, and then as his muscles started to bulge out, and then as the female started to blush a little bit, saying Izuku's muscles bulge like that. And then as you threw it, and it got about 15,000 miles. I hope it doesn't hit anybody in New Jersey. And yes, I know New Jersey is not 16,000 miles. I was just trying to make Izuku a little bit of a jokester. A little serious, but cracks jokes here and there, you know? And then as I was impressed and said, "Not bad, but the next time you defy me, detention." All right. Now, what's next? So, for the practical exam, Izuku didn't go all out. So he got about, let's say, second place behind Momo. And so on and so forth. So on and so forth. How did I get lower than this? Deku! Because, Bakugo, like I said before, I'm stronger than you. Deal with it. That's how life works. Life's not fair. I'll show you what's not fair! Die! And then Izuku's eyes started to slint and ready for an attack. But Aizawa stopped it with her scarf. And then as Aizawa said, one more outburst like that, you're out of here. Your hero and training days will be over before it even starts. Nice one, Teach. Thank you. Now, class today is over. You can do whatever you want, but I suggest you introduce yourselves because for the next 3 years, you all will be working together as one singular unit. Bye-bye now. And as Aizawa walked off. And as everybody started to swarm around Izuku asking, "How do you have a quirk? What is your life like? What happened to you? Why do you have so many scars?" Oh, and I forgot to mention Izuku does have scars. And then as Izuku said, "Shut up. One at a time, please." All right. Starting with you, pink girl. Are you single? Yeah, I guess. You, the one with the red spiky hair. Do you want to be sparring partners? Sure, I guess, if you can handle me. Nice! And then somebody else raised their hand. Yeah, brown hair girl. Thank you for saving me in the ethics exam. You're welcome. What's your name again? My name is Ochako Uaraka. What's your name? Oh, my name is Izuku Midoriya, but you could just call me whatever you want. Don't really care. All right then. So what do we do now? Then as class owners shrugged their shoulders, and then as Izuku smiled to himself and said, "To Incursio." Oh, and also they can speak telepathically. Then as he said to Incursio, "Thanks for everything, partner." KKK. Don't mention it, partner. And that's where I'm going to be leaving it off at. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on that post notification so you know when I'll be posting my next video. I will see you all later, and bye.